What is up, everybody? To Reverse TV here today, and we're gonna talk about Colin Moriarty with his recent take. Like I said before in my previous video, Sony fanboys are very emboldened by this news. They just say the most ridiculous crap now because of these rumors Xbox going third party. So now he wants to take the stance that Xbox fans are just crazy, like parasocial stands. I think that's the word you use, parasocial, or whatever. The parasocial relationship between us as gamers and the CEOs or executives of these companies. When it's like, really, at the end of the day, when I prefer Xbox, it's because of the great products they bring me. I don't care who the head of the company is. I don't care about Phil Spencer. I don't care about Sarah Bond. I don't really care. I don't care about a relationship with these people. I just care about the good products they bring. Like right now, with Game Pass to get you the best bang for your buck, and their exclusives overall are better than what Sony is offering. So that's why I'm a fan of Xbox. But he has to make this weird stance that Xbox fans are the most toxic and we have these weird relationships with the execs, and that's why people are freaking out the way they are. When it's so ridiculous, because it didn't take too long for him to make this statement and make it go viral or post on the internet. People already found a picture where, he was doing the same thing with the guy from PlayStation, Shuhei Yoshida, I believe that's what his name is. He's over having a little dinner or brunch with Shuhei Yoshida. So it's like he had a pretty good relationship there. And then the other guy who he left from, Greg Miller, he was in the Spider-Man 2 game. I don't know if he was in the first Spider-Man 1 game, but he was definitely in Spider-Man 2. So it's just kind of funny how he says Xbox fans are crazy by having pictures like this. But the PlayStation guys aren't. Like himself isn't. Like really want down the hill right there when people have receipts of you as well in the same position. So just quite interesting. But let's play the clip.
You're talking about, because I agree with you generally speaking, like we have to be analytical. And I took an enormous amount of abuse from Xbox fans for being analytical. The reality from my perspective, and I'd be very interested to see what you think of this, is that I think one of the mistakes Xbox has made is, and makes Sony and especially Nintendo look much more brilliant in hindsight, is like they just don't say anything to anyone. They don't feed.
No, that is terrible. I don't care what this guy said. That is terrible. PlayStation guys don't have a roadmap for first-party games, and they are bigging up games like Foam Stars, which nobody cares about. That game is forgotten within like the 3 or 2 days that game just released. That game was forgotten about already. Helldivers 2, which is, at least that game might get some success because it's on PC as well, but they just left that Foam Stars game out to die, and that's just sad. But people are wondering, like, hey, where PlayStation's first party games up? Sure, they're going to be saved again by Square Enix. They're going to get the piggyback off Square Enix with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Part 2. But then again, there's no first-party games carrying them, and Sony is not making it clear what games they have coming out. So that is very concerning. At least Xbox telling you what's up with what's games coming out for first-party studios, while PlayStation isn't. So we can save this whole drama with the exclusives, but at least Xbox makes it very clear what exclusives, well, I guess what games they got coming out. Put it that way, while PlayStation doesn't. So
feed this, frankly, parasocial fanboyism that is deep in the Xbox ecosystem. I'm sorry. Like, it's not to say that there's not obnoxious. I hate so many people that cover PlayStation. They're fucking annoying. They're fanboys. They're obnoxious. But
yeah, like yourself. It's literally projected right here, but okay.
Shuhei Yoshida isn't gassing him up. The sad reality, and you see this, is like men acting like children, mostly men, women too, acting like children because they think they played Halo with Phil Spencer once, and so like Phil Spencer's his best friend. And
the vast majority of people like Xbox, not because they want the shares to play Phil Spencer, because they genuinely like Xbox and their products. It's that simple. It's like during 360, I didn't even know who was even the head of CEO of Xbox. I prefer the console then. So I don't get this whole notion that we don't like Xbox because of some parasocial relationship. That is just so much BS right there. But he's going to push this onto his audience, and then these knuckleheads are just going to agree with him because he's the host of this show, which is just stupid. So
Phil would never do this to him. And I'm not talking about anyone specific because I don't even know who exactly that is, but I know that that's the kind of discourse that's going on out there. And that shit is fed by executives that are playing on the fanboyism in their own ecosystem, and it's backfiring on them in a major way. Because if this was happening with PlayStation, we would be fucking melting down, of course, in our own ecosystem. But the one thing you couldn't do is point to all the different things everyone said to you and how.
No, we melt them down because they're exclusive games we moved to other platforms. It wouldn't be because of the relationship they have with these different executives. So that's what this boils down to. The exclusives are being affected. So it's like, I just hate how they just make these weird narratives that Xbox fans are the most toxic now because of these relationships. When there's so much BS right there. It's just like he just spews BS, and other people disagree when they're just not there and agree when it's just BS. Nobody checks him about this comment that he's making, but he just goes along with it. When there's little pictorial evidence of this guy doing the same thing he's clever Xbox guys are just doing, which is hilarious.
You did this and you had brunch with this guy and you met this guy and this guy signed your console and all this. And I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that stuff, but you're feeding into that like they care about you and they don't. Now, it doesn't mean you can't broach the friend layer, but generally speaking, they want you to speak positively about their products. They're going to give you access and try to tip the scale to make that happen. And when things go bad, you will defend them. And you have to kind of...
Yeah, like your buddy Greg Miller with the whole Last of Us leak situation. When that game got leaked, he didn't cover any of the leaks because he's in the game as well for Spider-Man 2. So yeah, like that guy you used to hang out with. A big hypocrite right here.
Draw a line internally and understand it's like, they're not your friend. They don't know you. They don't care what you think. And they're manipulating you, and instead of you understanding the manipulation and using it to your advantage, you're letting yourself be manipulated into the point where you're selling your Xbox consoles and you're melting down on YouTube, videos and all these things about innuendo and rumor that we frankly don't even know about. And that's unique to this Xbox generation. And I really want to know what you guys think about this, about like what I see as like an overt toxicity per capita, way worse than anything going on in the other ecosystems.
Yeah, sure. Like the PlayStation fans sitting in the lady death threats. Then she does do like a documentary from Grounded to Laura Bailey said she could receive death threats not only to her newborn son as well. Yeah, there's just no levels of toxicity over there on PlayStation, right? Or the dude sending D-pics for God of War release dates. Like, okay, buddy. Or the doctor, instead of performing surgery, he's like console war doing operating room. Okay. Just clown nonsense right here.
A lot of it fed by this idea that the corporation's behind you and the corporation cares about you. And yeah, I do my free marketing and I do my free reels and I make all this beautiful stuff and I promote the product. How can you betray me like this? And it's like, dude, you didn't even come into their minds for 1 iota of 1 second when they were making this decision. And you're being manipulated.
Yeah, so that's enough of that BS. I don't know what he's talking about. Just trying to make it like Xbox fans are the most toxic, where we just believe whatever the executive spews out because they interact with the community. That's nonsense. Most people don't care about who these heads are. They just want the great products and great games. That's it. Great services. That's it. That's how it's always been. But they definitely want to twist this narrative right here. So let's see what people got to say about this. The parasocial relationship some elements of the Xbox community have with Microsoft is troubling. In my opinion, great conversation as always. So they're the same relationship that Sony fans have, that they can't stop talking about Xbox. Even when PlayStation gets new stuff out, they can only talk about Xbox. Like the biggest news is the Xbox news. You got 2 new games out and they can only talk about Xbox. It's like, okay, sure. Yep, it's only Xbox fanboys that do this. No brand has ever been as dominant in gaming as PlayStation, never comes really close. Those who tried to compete with it ended up getting obliterated and erased from history books. I don't even know who this even is, but this Sony fanboy right here, yeah. Definitely not the weirdos on the Sony camp from this guy's lips right here, apparently. Hypocrite once again, this picture of hypocrisy. This might be the thumbnail right here. More pictures. This guy just hugged up with this dude. This is just something, yeah. But they got no parasocial relationships on PlayStation side as well, right? Literally in the game, but okay. This hypocrite. Has a whole podcast down the PlayStation. So you're definitely shilling it up there, buddy. But he doesn't think he's shilling. He has a whole PlayStation and a whole podcast and the PlayStation. Okay. I'll give Colin this. He's 100% right. Yeah, I agree that you shouldn't trust any of these executives, no matter what brand they are. You should just try to get the best product as a consumer and go with that, whichever company's giving you the best products. But he's also the same as those Xbox creators and influencers he's talking about. Yeah. I love this era of Xbox and this currently cataclysmic state of an Xbox fan base because this so long foreshadowed self-inflicted consequences of their actions. They brought this onto themselves, and while it's true for all the camps, the Xbox fan base has been extremely parasocial. Really? These people are just mad because Sony just doesn't talk to them at all. Like, really? You really want to frame that as some type of as a good thing that Sony just doesn't talk to the community at all? Really? It's not a good thing. Your former co-host was putting the 2 Spider-Man games. Yeah. Blazing Parks right there. Yoshida, hey Colin, want to join me for dinner tomorrow? Colin, thanks, but I have to decline because I don't want to do that anymore. People would think I'm befriending a corporation, right? Oh man. If this all ends up being true, we should never forget the Xbox laid 2,000 people off with the foreknowledge that it would be unlocking hundreds of millions in new revenue shortly thereafter. Very gross. Yes, because no other industry, no other company has laid off people this year. Right. A lot of people getting laid off. They just have a story about the UPS people getting laid off as well, and I think it was a lot more people in 2000. But nobody talked about that one because nobody cares. It's only when Xbox is an issue, but other industries lay off people. We don't mention that. Colin analysis comes from a Sony fan / Xbox hater point of view, and he is often wrong in his analysis. Cog and Maddie, on the other hand, are the cheerleaders of Xbox / acquisition / Starfield, etc. So even though everything that Colin said is true here, it's just meaningless / hollow. Didn't Colin have dinner with Yoshida? Yeah, he definitely did. So it's like, he used the wrong messenger to give this message out. I was like, you're just a blatant hypocrite. Why are you the one giving the message out? Weird that Colin never had a problem with these type of relationships when he had one and was getting free stuff. Yeah, when he get the free stuff, it's not a problem with them because he's blackballed from Sony. That's when he sees the issue with it because I don't think Sony likes this guy anymore. So that's when he has an issue with it now. But he was getting free stuff, dinners with Yoshida. It was all good then. And like he's not even saying like people act like he's saying like some genius level stuff. It's common sense. You shouldn't befriend the people at the head of these corporations. Like, of course they're not gonna care about what you think. That's about their bottom line at the end of the day. They're a business, so it's obvious. But it's just like so hypocritical come from this guy. Men say that the reps are not your friend at Xbox and it's toxic to have a relationship with them. Meanwhile, can't make this crap up. Yeah, there's definitely gonna be a thumbnail right here because that's blatant hypocrisy. None of these creators were manipulated. They were selling. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm not even going to read that stupid comment. This fool talks about manipulation as Sony quite literally has a lot of media organizations and websites and on their thumb shielding them. Yeah. People can't even give Sony a negative review without getting blacklisted. Too old to really care to voice this, and I'm not into the arguments of the voices. However, I've seen / felt this for a while now. Spoken to someone about it personally. I despise influencers, love something, sure, but the unholy marriage between corporate / YouTubers was, is / never good. Okay. Yeah, explains a lot. They want you to speak positively about the platform and defend them when things go bad, while but true. Yeah, it's like some people. I agree. Some of these Xbox guys are overdoing it, especially about rumors. Like you're about to sell your Xbox over some rumors, especially if you got a huge gaming library on that platform. Is just stupid to me. But some people are being super over emotional about this. But once again, this definitely isn't the person to give that message out. It's just ridiculous. This guy had the same type of relationships, but he wants to say down talk the same people who got the same relationships he had. So it doesn't make any sense right there. But yeah, I'm gonna conclude it right here. This guy's just a hypocrite, and it's like some of his points may be valid, but a lot of this stuff is just BS right there. So definitely want to see a lot of thoughts down below about this. Leave a like this video. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.